Hey all, Hipper here. So today I've got a video on an Agile Colbert for you. So I'm using Roux, Azure in Baltimore and Takao. So it's a super standard Agile build and I actually think it suits this ship really well. It's really fast Colbert. It goes 44 knots plus with the speed boost on, and the rudder is 2 seconds, which I'll show you in a minute. So it's extremely wiggly and agile, and you can really kite very well in this thing. So why not, spec into it fully and go with an agile build? I know for sure that this is a build I will stick with going forward. So let's just have a look at the battle here. So this is from my stream earlier today. So obviously the quality is not as good as when I grab it straight from the Xbox. But you just have to live with that. If you'd rather want to watch the stream, you can still find it on my YouTube channel. It's called Quick Colbert stream, I think it is. And if you want to watch this battle in particular, I think it's the last 15-16 minutes of the stream. But anyway, like I said, it is it was recorded live, and I'm using the build that I had up before. So because I couldn't wait for YouTube to encode this video here, of course it won't have any sound. So I'm just going to put some the Warships music in the background, and then I'll just comment on it as usual. And of course, like I said before, if you want to watch the actual stream, you can still do that instead. So Colbert, I've seen some discussions online about the ship already, especially on Discord, and some people are of the opinion that it's overpowered. I don't think so. It sounded like it was going to be a really tough nut to crack with the 32mm armor and all that stuff, but really in reality, it's not that hard to kill. It's a bit like Edinburgh, pretty much. So for example, if you run into a Yamato, you are still in a whole lot of trouble in this ship here. So I'd say that sure, it's a lot easier to play than most cruisers, and also no one really expects you to pull off anything daring because you don't have a radar or anything like of great utility to the team. This ship is all about doing damage, basically. That's pretty much all it can do, and that way you're not expected to get into risky radar positions or anything like that. You can actually play this ship very safely from 16 kilometers away, and you don't really have to plan your moves at all, because this ship has so many turrets that it doesn't really matter which way you're turning, you're always able to fire at the enemy. So you don't have to, plan your broadsides or anything like that. So yeah, it's super simple to play, really. And with an agile build, this thing is fast. At the moment, you can't see it for my my webcam there in the porthole, but at the moment I'm going more than 44 knots because I am, rushing these two destroyers here, and it doesn't feel that fast, but it is very fast, this ship here. That's faster than Martel, I think. Yeah, it is actually. And it's faster than a Malfi, at least my build. So an agile build really suits this ship, I think so. Sure, you can play it like an island hugger, but it's very well armored, so what's really the point? And also you don't have torpedoes to set up any ambushes around islands, so you're kind of losing out on a lot of potential there. Like say you're playing Minotaur instead. It has a fearsome torpedo armament, so it actually makes sense to sit around islands in that ship. Colbert, I think, is a full-blooded open sea warrior, and it does that really well. Like, it really does. It's an awesome agile cruiser, and I'm very happy we finally have one at the legendary tier. Finally. That took a long time. And yes, it is a little bit too much of an HE spammer for me. I mean, the reload is 3 seconds on this build here, and as you'll see later in the video, you can really burn some battleships fairly quickly without them being able to do anything. Especially if they are not a Yamato, then they can't even overmatch you. So yeah, in certain situations perhaps it is a little bit overpowered, but in most situations it's just a cruiser that can get death struck. I will say that the addition of Colbert, well, I know Colbert is not officially in the game yet, but well, I hope they keep it exactly the way it is and pop it in very, very soon. I think next update. Like I said, with the addition of Colbert and Minotaur, in my opinion, legendary battles have changed completely and to the better. This may not be like a popular opinion, but I think legendary battleships have had it way too easy for the last more than a year, honestly. All they've really had to deal with is destroyers, and yeah, of course, yeah, dealing with destroyers isn't fun, but there's been an abundance of radar cruisers available in legendary tier, and most legendary battles I've been in, the battleships have just had a field day, death striking unlucky tier 7 cruisers who had to be, you know, up tiered into a legendary battle to fill out the cruiser spots because no one really wants to play the legendary cruisers. So yes, I think it's about time we got not just one, but two very, very powerful legendary cruisers. So that actually means that the battleships at legendary tier will now be facing cruisers of their own size, so to speak. There's no picking on you know, up tiered tier 7s anymore. And sure, that's probably going to be quite a nasty wake up call for some battleship players. It is sure going to mix up the legendary meta, and I am very happy about that, because a ship like Colbert here, you can burn a whole flank of bow tanking battleships and simply forcing them to do something else, because that has really been a problem at legendary tier. That is battleships sitting at max range, and it just makes for the most terribly boring battles ever. And as soon as, you know, a cruiser tries to push, it's just get death struck, and that's not the case anymore. Colbert can take on 4 or 5 battleships, set them on fire and force them to reposition. And sooner or later, the battleship players in legendary tier, they're going to learn to position, because most people playing battleships, they just start the game and then they just sit there and wait for something to shoot without even thinking of moving forward and positioning somewhere a little bit smarter. And well, that's not going to be a good play going forward, because if you just sit there in open water in your battleship, you are just food for Colberts and also Minotaurs. So yep, there's going to be a shake-up of the legendary tier, and like I said, that is wonderful. I've been waiting a very, very long time for this, and hopefully this is the first step in rectifying some of the more grievous problems with the game here. Yes, this works. Colbert works, it's a great addition, and it's for rent the next 2 weeks for only 2 million silver, so I don't see why you wouldn't pick it up and give it a whirl. I don't know if it's going to go in the bureau afterwards. I'm kind of assuming that, but I'm hoping not. I really hope it's going to be available for global XP, because honestly, I cannot wait a month or 2 or whatever it takes to research the ship. Like I said, legendary tier is screaming for this ship here, and the quicker we can get it into battles, oh well, the better. So please, Wargaming, if you're still on the fence, make it available for global XP, for 2 million global XP. That would be excellent, thank you. That would be awesome, actually. I should probably also add that yes, it is a powerful cruiser, definitely, but it is a legendary cruiser. It should be powerful. Just like Minotaur is also incredibly powerful, but it can be, you know, punished as well. Not as in such a nasty way as Minotaur can, but then on the other hand, Minotaur has radar and like very fearsome torpedo armament, while Colbert on the other hand, all it can really do is spam you with HE. So I think I've done 5 or 6 battles in Colbert by now, and I don't think I've ever had, and I think I can like reveal that I'm getting a Kraken in this game here. And like I said, it's only my 5th or 6th game, and I don't think I've ever had a Kraken this quickly before. Perhaps in Cheshire, that also happened very quickly. And in general, my Colbert results are pretty good, except when I get totally rushed by the whole enemy team, which has happened actually fairly often lately, especially in the stream. But I also played a little bit too aggressively in this thing here, because I'm used to having torps, and I just keep forgetting I don't have them in this ship here. But I have learned from that, as you can tell in this battle here. So yeah, it takes a few battles to get a feel for the ship, but now I am actually quite happy about it. I think it's a very fun ship to play, and that's the most important thing for me. Fast firing guns, and you always have a gun on the target, like I said in the beginning. It doesn't matter if you're turning right, left, points like facing forward or backwards or whatever, you can always fire. Some people may say that's not fair, but I think it's fine. I mean, these guns are low caliber, and although some battleship players are going to hate this ship for its fire starting capability, I don't think this Agile build here is too bad. Like, I don't spec into any HE at all. I don't get like any heightened fire chance or HE damage or anything like that. And I think this way it's quite a fair addition to the game. It's a Minotaur with better armor, except it doesn't have any torpedoes and any radar, meaning that the utility is low on this ship here, and it is a damage dealer primarily, and it's very good at that. It's excellent at that. So if you face a Yamato, you can get overmatched, and I'm not sure that actually happened to me yet, but there was a Kraken right there, but we're not done yet. And in this stream here, I was talking, MetaJerk will be proud of me, the Kraken is home, and we'll start to chase down the 6-pack, as he calls it here. And it turns out he was actually lurking in the chat, and you'll see that closer to the end of the video. So I am pleasantly surprised about this ship. Like I said in the beginning, when I heard about the 32mm armor, I was a bit afraid that this ship was going to be overpowered. And don't get me wrong, it is powerful, but if you show broadside in this thing, you are off the map. It's very simple, and it only has 36,000 hit points. That is not a lot at legendary tier. That's about what Exeter has at tier 5. I can't remember, it's something along those lines anyway. So you cannot take a lot of damage in this thing. And of course, yes, you get 4 heals. Actually, with this build, you get 4 heals. Usually you get 3. But this ship comes stuck with 3 heals instead of 2. Meaning that, you get 4 heals. They're okay heals. They're not like anything like the Royal Navy heals, but they're okay. And they give this ship just that little bit more of longevity that it needs to pull off some of the more interesting stunts. And I can't deny that I am not missing torpedoes. I am missing torpedoes, I must admit that. But I think the ship with the fast firing guns here, it makes up for it. And I think, well, I know at the moment it's my favorite legendary cruiser, with Minotaur right behind. And we're not even going to talk about the other legendary cruisers, because all they really are battleships with radar. But finally we have something that's agile and fun and really a joy to play. And I'm so happy that it's now available at legendary tier. And it's going to change up the meta. It's going to create a new way to play legendary battles, and it's going to be great. So that was the 6th kill there, and as you can see in the webcam, I am celebrating. And this is a pure Agile build, works perfectly on Colbert. But I'm sure you can use other builds as well. I haven't really tried anything else yet, but this is the build I'm going to stick with. It's my Martel build. Really, I haven't changed anything. And look at this, almost 4,500 base XP and 6 kills. That is quite high. And as you can see in the chat now, that's MetaJerk sensing someone getting a Kraken somewhere. So of course he has to comment on that. Anyway, that was the video, and I hope you enjoyed this Agile rental Colbert, and I'll see you out there.